Hello everyone, welcome back to Red Doe Reads. Today we have r/entitled people. If you want me to cover some specific subreddit in the next video, leave it in the comments. Entitled Hackspawn wants my Coke, and his mother decided that ordering me to hand it over was a great idea. So I just flew back from Dubai, and I had the unfortunate luck of sitting next to an entitled mother and her woolly child. I was cursing myself because I have had terrible experiences with children in my aisles on flight, so I was already not in a great mood. The flight started out pretty smooth, but things quickly took a turn. This kid, who must have been around 5 or 6, was running up and down the aisle, throwing toys and making a mess. The flight attendants were doing their best to manage, but the mother was just sitting there, scrolling through her phone like nothing was happening, or just telling people to ignore him because he's just a kid. About halfway through the flight, I ordered a Coke. As soon as it arrived, the kid zeroed in on it. He started whining and pointing at my drink, making a scene. Before I knew it, the mother was giving me these dirty looks like I was some kind of demon for not sharing my Coke with her prince. She leaned over and, in a tone that dripped with arrogance, said, "He really wants your drink. Just give it to him." I was stunned. I mean, it's free, so just ask the attendant to get one for yourself? When I decided and suggested she ask the flight attendant for another one, she huffed and rolled her eyes, muttering something under her breath. I'm a patty guy, so I took my sweet time in having the drink while loudly playing music on my headphones. To spite her, I ordered another Coke, but this time her kid tried swapping the drink from the attendant's hand. The attendant scolded the mother in a quiet and stern tone to bring her kid under control, after which the mother huffed and puffed like an out-of-shape marathon runner. For the rest of the flight, she kept glaring at me like I had snitched on her to a principal, while her kid continued causing problems. It's amazing how some parents think the world revolves around them and their poorly behaved children. Why have kids why you cannot be bothered to parent them properly? I understand why the mother didn't want her kid to have a Coke because it has sugar, it has caffeine, so he will be hyper, he will get sugar rush, then he will crash, and it will be a nightmare. Even bigger nightmare than it already is. But on the other hand, dear God, why annoy everyone around you? And again, it's not about the kid. Kid is 5. He cannot be responsible for his actions. And I understand playing is new experience, it's exciting. But why not prepare your kid? Have a talk, get some kind of entertainment for him or something. The only thing that I didn't like from OP here is that he was listening to music really loudly in his headphones. I'm sure that he bothered not only this entitled mother and her child, but also people around them who were already bothered by that kid, and now they have music playing from his headphones, like the kid was not enough. Y'all, we finally hit 200 subscribers! I am so happy. Do you think we could hit 250 until the end of this week? It sounds minor, I know, but for me it's such a big deal. So if you can, hit a subscribe and you will make my day. Friend faked pregnancy to be our roommate and be taken care of. Have known this friend for years, and we were close and used to spend a lot of time together after my child was born. And the end of last year, she lives in a different state. She told me her roomie, who is also her boss, was going to be closing his office and moving, and she wouldn't be able to go with him. She asked if we planned to move back and tried to say it would be a good time to buy a house, and it would be good if we could move in together. Myself, my husband, our 8-year-old, and her. Also asked if I could get her a job with my workplace. I told her we were never moving back. Worst time to buy a house, cannot get her a job because she isn't in the same profession and doesn't have the necessary degrees or training, and as we are in our early 40s, the window for having roommates is firmly closed. Didn't hear from her much until a month ago when she called freaking out, saying it was emergency and she had no one else to turn to. Her ex-roomie/boss had kicked her out a few months prior as she thought he may have assayed her. Now she was staying with a no good of a cousin of a friend who was watching her every move, recording her with cameras, threatening to call the cops and kick her out. She did not feel safe, etc. Also, she is 6 months pregnant and has been trying to get aid. She cannot get into a women's shelter and she has been to a few doctors, but none will confirm she's pregnant, though she's visibly 6 months along according to her. I asked more about this, where she'd gone, what they told her, etc. But she said it was really weird and she was scared and thought maybe one of them was trying to steal her baby. I thought maybe they were trying to prevent her from getting aid and told her she could come stay with us for a bit as she had some money coming in the next months and just needed some place where she could stay temporarily. I also told her we are cramped here and in the process of finding a new place to live, so our money is tight and accommodations are temporary. She arrives early next morning and definitely not 6 months along, and no sign of baby bump. I'm thinking at this point that since it's her first baby and she's not clear who the father is, maybe she's only a month or 2 along. Okay, still going to help and still think she's pregnant, so we let her use our 8-year-old's room because we have no extra rooms and space is cramped. Entire visit, she wears tight clothing, takes frequent naps, baby is moving around a lot and makes her tired. Does yoga in our front yard facing busy local street. Sits on patio all day using my work phone because I said no. I would not pay to have her phone turned on. Every question we ask, who is dad of baby? Do you have further details about when your money is coming through? What happened with your ex-boss or roomie? All met with vague details and a lot of her saying she wants to change the subject because it's too hard for her to talk about it. She does and has done nothing to prepare for baby. We are very concerned for her maybe baby, so we give her info from a pregnant friend of a good doctor so she can go get checked out, and she continues to insist she's 6 months pregnant, and I am freaked that either she is and something is terribly wrong with baby, or she is less far along and needs to do better about managing her pregnancy. She books an appointment for the end of the week, and an interim keeps trying to make plans with us like she's on vacation. Like, we should get all dressed up and go to fancy dinner. When are we going to go do something fun? We should do something fun for her upcoming birthday, and she would like us to help plan. What else is there to do around here? The only time she talks about the baby, she talks about how she came here because she trusts us and wants us to help her raise her baby as she cannot do it alone. She uses a lot of green, asks for a beer in the first few days, talks about needing to dye her hair, no prenatal vitamins cause she says she doesn't need them because she's healthy. I cook our dinner every night. During day, my hubby makes sure our child is well fed with snacks and light meals. She asks several times, "Oh, you only cook dinner? You don't cook lunch or breakfast?" And asked my hubby several times as he was making food for our child if he could make her some food too. She never offers to make dinner or lunch or breakfast, and the time she asks me if I only make that one meal a day, I tell her yes, but she's welcome to make any meal she'd like and always welcome to any food in house. She says she cannot cook well. We started telling her she should get a job or some short-term work since she has no money or idea when her money is coming through. She says she will start applying but cannot get a W-2 job, so we tell her there are a number of places near us where we know for sure she can get 1099 work. She applies to none of them. She has a few interviews via Zoom for places too far for her to drive and keeps telling the interviewers she's 6 months along and doesn't want to lie about that, so it seems like she's purposely sabotaging these interviews so she will not get the position. I give her gas money to get to her doctor's appointment. She comes back and she cannot believe it, but the doctor says she's not pregnant. She doesn't know how that is possible. By the next day, she's fine, and it's like she never said she was pregnant. She's upbeat and back to asking what our plans are for weekend. We tell her we are setting up our camper and she can sleep in there, as we only let her sleep in our daughter's bed because we thought she was pregnant. She stays a few more days before coming to me midday and saying she's going back to her state as she has better job opportunities there and found a different sap to live with, who said she can help around the house to earn her keep until she gets a job and can afford to pay rent there for the room she will be staying in. I give her money for gas because at that point we are ridiculously uncomfortable and want her out. The kicker is that she says, "Well, since you guys don't want a roommate, it's better if I go." WTF? I'm at a loss for what her plan was apart from us to take care of her, give her a place to live, cook for her and pay her bills, because she asked again when she got here if I could get her a job with my place of employment. She obviously knew, as I had reiterated multiple times when she was here as before she got here, that we didn't want a roommate and don't need the headache and that financially things were tight and we cannot afford to support her. She said multiple times while here she was glad we would help her raise her baby, to which I said no, we would not. I feel bad about this, but I was very blunt and told her that while I'm glad for her, we have been going through rough times and don't have the emotional bandwidth to help raise a baby, that we would give her the help that we chose to and are able to give, but none of this would include helping her raise her baby or her living with us while raising her baby. It blows my mind because while she's a diva, she has never pulled crap like this when I knew her before. She obviously lied about being pregnant, so I would feel bad enough to take her in, but don't wear a skin-tight bodysuit to the grocery store if you're pretending to be pregnant. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed. You can also watch this awesome video or that awesome playlist. See you next time!